Hello Griffin-scopers, welcome back into the little sound booth. Today I am covering a lady that needs absolutely no introduction whatsoever. We're looking at Princess Diana, looking at the very soul essence of her life lessons, what she came here to learn, what her character traits are, whether she fulfilled some of those life lessons and the energies that she went out on. So guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That helps keep the content coming to you. And if anybody would like a private reading with me, then please do get in touch. My email address is in the description box. So without further ado, I'm excited for this one. So gazillions of readers have covered Princess Diana. This is going to be our Griffin-scope take on it. So her character cards are the Chariot and the Tower, and the Strength card and the Star card, and the energies, the year cards that she went out on are also the Chariot and the Tower. So the Chariot would be representing someone very much born with a sacred purpose, a very deep kind of drive that propels her forward over obstacle and challenge. It's interesting how the Chariot represents her vehicle of destiny, how she moved through the world, but also how she departed in the car. And that's the year cards that she went out on as well, the Chariot and the Tower. So the Chariot represents movement, travel, motion, and she was constantly being carried forward by forces that were greater than herself: royalty, media, public expectations. How she moved through life was unstoppable and ultimately tragic. She was both the driver, I would say, and the passenger in her life, trying to kind of steer her chariot, even though fate was pulling those reins in different directions at times. The death in a car is the sacred mirror of her archetype, the Chariot. Hauntingly symbolic is the Chariot because it became her coffin, in a sense, that final ride through the tunnel in Paris. Echoes of a soul completing its life journey and its mission. So she entered the world stage on the wheels of duty, driven by heart, and even when the road turned cruel, she kept moving. Forward, 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 moving people's hearts. She may have left the 3D, the earthly path, but she still rides, I feel, in her kind of chariot of light through people's memories, the myths and the messages. And one of those messages she left with us, to quote Princess Diana, is that kindness is not a weakness. It is a powerful form of courage, and courage is something that goes with the Chariot. So that kind humanitarian empathy could shake empires, including the monarchy. Her acts of kindness, gosh, I feel like I'm welling up here. Her acts of kindness they rippled out across nations, and her humanitarian soul for the recently bereaved. She was so humanitarian when it comes to AIDS patients, whether it comes to her banning or trying to landmines, all these things put her on her mission, and it was that inner engine driving her forward. Now, when we come to the lightning-struck tower, for me this represents false structures that need to come down, and the tower represents the monarchy. Look at that, we've got the lightning bolt here right in the shape of a W for the House of Windsor. And she entered a very rigid, unfeeling, image-based an obsessed world that couldn't hold her in a comfortable tower here. The ever-expanding popularity shook the tower to its very foundations between old time and new time. We see that old time on Big Ben's clock in the Crow Tower here, the old time, the new time, and things had to change. That tower couldn't contain her soul, her vulnerability, her kindness, and disobedience as well to royal protocols at times. Those norms are what kind of shook the foundations. She didn't set out in her chariot to break the tower apart or destroy it. But the monarchy couldn't hold that truth of hers within it. The humanitarian character that she was cracked its walls, and when the tower fell, it didn't bury Diana, it revealed her, it freed her, no longer a princess confined by walls of traditions, by a myth that was reborn into light. God, I'm getting such tingles. So, like her character card or cards, Diana was very single-minded. She had that kind of rare drive to keep going when she was totally emotionally exhausted, or sometimes shell-shocked. Even when those horses of her chariot pulled in opposite directions, even if others couldn't see it, she still wore a crown of compassion. Notice how that star is right on her crown, and that's her soul card, the star. So her self-control and her composure under pressure was what set her apart at times. She wasn't lost. She had direction. Even if others couldn't see it, she wore her compassion like a crown of glory. Her chariot drove revolutionary change just by being her authentic self. Her openness wasn't a weakness. It was soul courage, and she exposed her struggles with things like eating disorders and loneliness, so that she could help others. So going back to the tower, she endured all these things, and when the tower exploded, things were exposed within that monarchy. So in a way, the chariot was how she survived and kept moving forward, and the tower was what she changed. The chariot shows her will, and the tower shows the impact of that will. After Diana's death, the House of Windsor felt like it was beginning to crumble. I mean, I remember this well, and, you know, there was a lot of public pressure put on the monarchy to change and evolve. There was such a huge outpouring of grief, and it forced the system inside that tower that had never changed to actually face itself. That golden crown there falling from the tower is like a direct symbol of false sovereignty, hollow power, a detached godlike rulership that no longer serves the people. And in tarot, when that crown falls, it signifies divine intervention. It's like the hand of God. The ego is struck down and truth is revealed. And Princess Diana was that very lightning rod. She was. The components of her personality, her existence, exposed what no one had dared to speak. Emotional repression, institutional coldness, personal suffering behind royal glamour. And the falling of the crown was their loss of their untouchability. The falling of that crown was the monarchy's cracked illusion. And it feels more like a glass crown, ready to shatter into pieces. Her soul birth cards are powerful windows into her life lesson and her soul's purpose. So her soul's lesson was to master emotional drive and direction. It tells us that Diana came into this world with a deep desire to serve and use her personal pain as a vehicle for healing others. Getting very choked up here. Her soul's purpose may have included disruption, but it wasn't harm. I think what I'm sensing is that she came in more as a catalyst for rebirth and to lead from the heart, even if that road cost her everything. She was a soul warrior, cloaked in roses, a royal rebel chosen to steer history toward a softer, kinder strength. Even though her life was cut tragically short, Diana fulfilled her soul purpose and life lessons, even when it cost her. It cost her her health, her safety, and her life. The signs are all there, guys, that she fulfilled her soul's path. She chose compassion, healing, over everything else. And her chariot, it wasn't gilded, but it was driven by heart. This card represents the heart, by the way, and not by ego. That's what drove her. Heart, not ego. She spoke truth even when it shook that tower, even when it shook the monarchy. The Queen Elizabeth, was criticised over and over for not coming out and acknowledging the public's grief, the death of Diana, in a way that was more compassionate. She did eventually, but it took time. And it was from that time forward that things began to change. She brought a kind of humanity to a very dehumanizing world in that monarchy. She cracked crowns, guys. But she cracked those crowns with kindness and not with a sharp tongue. I'm going to take some oracle cards a minute. Princess Diana, any messages for us from the crows? Come into my hands, into these cards. Let the energy be known. This one. Waterproof. Like I said, when I was looking at oracle cards in a couple of videos ago, the crows can only stay waterproof for so long. But when it keeps raining, they get absolutely drenched and soaked through. And that can be a problem for their health and their well-being. I feel that's a little bit like Diana's life as well. The cards that she went out on, the Chariot, eerily echoing, isn't it? She died in a car, and her character cards and her end of year cards depict a chariot. Incredible. We're going to have some song lyrics, I feel, today, because she loved music. Oh gosh, they're all coming out. There's one that's kind of leaning on me, but I feel like I should keep shuffling. Okay, Princess Diana, do you have a song for the people? So you're going to have to do your homework today, guys, and look this song up, because we only get a few lines. But I can guarantee whatever is in the song that Princess Diana chooses for us. There we go. Oh, that one first. There'll be something in here that speaks. I Won't Give Up is the song. And it's by Jason Mraz. And it says, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. How amazing. Okay, so we'll take that. And then finally for some charms. Guys, I've got such a small table. It gets a little bit messy. I do apologise. God. A coin? I don't often get the coins. Very apt. I feel like I'm going to cry. I love you more than I can say. Can you see that? Love you more than I can say. And then in here, I love you. I love you. 2 hearts. She was the Princess of Hearts. We've got a mirror. So this is what she was reflecting back to us. Amazing. Last, oh, look at that. I am going to cry in a minute, I swear. It says love with an arrow through it. It's funny, isn't it? Because arrows, they pierce the skin. Whenever we fall in love with somebody, it can leave a wound in us and it can feel painful, even when it's good. That's kind of what she did. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave this emotional reading here for today. I may just leave that one out on my desk. Okay, you take care. Fly well. Thanks for being here.